welcome back to another amazing episode of Black Girl Healing Session. And this episode, I'm going to get real deep, and it's going to get real personal, and I'm just going to spill it all out because it's time to heal this year. Happy New Year. It's 2022. If you haven't listened to my other episode, Unapologetically Shine, Live Your Best Life, it's going to be great. It's coming out tomorrow, January 5th, because yes, it's coming January 5th. So this will be my very first episode this year. So I hope you enjoy this episode, and really, if you can resonate with what I'm saying, I really want y'all to do a little shadow work. We're going to talk about shadow work anyways. But with this topic, this is a prompt that you definitely need to journal because I had to do it. And yeah, it's deep. So definitely get your pen and paper and write down, how did your parents break your heart? So that's today's topic. And I'm about to get all into it, and I'm telling my business so y'all can really understand Sean. All right, so let's get into this. How did your parents break your heart? How did my parents break my heart? They broke my heart in a lot of ways. But I don't know if I'm going to go all the way deep because this is not therapy and the world is hearing me. But it's a little bit of me being therapeutic. This is therapy for me anyways. That's why I decided to do Black Girl Healing Session, because this is to help heal women. And I know a lot of women are going through or have been through what I've been through. And I have a lot of traumas that I need to work on and that I'm working on. I've been doing my shadow work. And I think you all should do it too. But let's start with my mother. I will start with her. How did she break my heart? My mama was and is my rock. She has been everything to me. She gave life to me. I love my mother. I love her. But I did not love her habits. I did not love the choices that she made. And I did not love her leaving me, which wasn't her choice. So what truly broke my heart with my mother is that she did not see how amazing she was. That's one thing that broke my heart with her. And I will not cry in this episode, but that broke my heart because she did not see how amazing she was. I think she allowed all of her traumas to affect her life so much. And I wish that she had the opportunity to heal like I'm healing, and like the world and other people and other women are healing from their traumas. Like, I wish she could have healed from a lot of her traumas and was able to conquer her demons, because she didn't. She had habits that I wish she would have been able to heal from, and I feel like it affected her in so many ways. It may have contributed to her passing. I never know. And even saying it out loud is like, I always felt like maybe that was the reason, and I'm not going to get all the way into that, but that was a contributing factor to why her health was the way it was. So that always broke my heart with my mother, is that I wish she would have just been able to heal from her demons and heal from all her traumas. And the biggest thing that broke my heart is that she passed away. And at a pivotal time in my life, I needed my mother. I still need my mother to this day. I'm going to always need my mother every day of my life. But that's one thing that I wish she was able to be here. But things happen for a reason, and I understand that. And God knew that had to happen for me to be who I am. You know, things happen for a reason. So I accept that now. So that's truly what breaks my heart with my mother. I love my mother and always will love my mother, but those were the two things that broke my heart, is that she didn't truly see the amazing person that she was, and that she wasn't able to conquer her traumas and her demons and make better choices. And she, passing away. So those what broke my heart with my mother. Now with my father, this is a whole nother topic that I'm going to talk about, which is daddy issues. But in this episode, we're going to talk about how he broke my heart. With your father is supposed to be the very first man that you ever love, right? Your father is supposed to be the example of how a man should treat a woman, how a man should love a woman. And how my father broke my heart is he wasn't the man I needed him to be, to teach me how to love. Teach me how a man should love me. Teach me how men are supposed to treat women. My father never did that. He was a horrible example of that. And I hate to talk about my father like that, but it's the truth. I wish that he would have taught me a lot more things. That way I wouldn't have daddy issues, which caused me to have a problem with accepting love from men. I still have that issue. I'm still working on it. I have a hard time accepting love from men, or even wanting to be vulnerable, because I never had the opportunity to be vulnerable with my father, So that's what breaks my heart. I wish he was able to be the father that you see on TV, or that you hear from other people, or you have family members and you see how their fathers are with them and very loving. My father was never loving to me. My father didn't tell me he loved me to my face until I was an adult, until he needed me. I'm not going to cry at all. I didn't cry enough about that man. But you hear how crazy that sounds, for you to hear your father tell you to your face that he loves you when you're an adult, when he needs you, when he down rock bottom. Now he loves you. Why couldn't I get the love when I was a child? That is what I always wanted to know. And that's what always broke my heart with him, is that I never felt love from him. Never, as a child. Never. All I saw was negative hate from him. I never saw love from him. I never saw him love my mother. I didn't even know what love was, honestly. I'm learning as an adult what love is, but I did not know what love was because I never saw it. So I didn't know what how a man's supposed to treat. If I was going to look at the example my parents gave me, how men and women are supposed to react, I would be jacked up right now. But I knew that's not, I had enough common sense to know that this is not love. This is not how relationships are supposed to be. I knew that as a child, because I knew that fighting and arguing is not love. I knew that much. If I didn't know nothing else, I knew that. So with both of my parents, they broke my heart because they stayed in a toxic relationship for me. And I never understood why people stay in toxic relationship for children, when you're doing nothing but hurting your children. And I'm an example of what a toxic relationship and staying in a toxic relationship for your children can do. Because it was me. That was my life as a child. My parents stayed together for me, when they could have just broke up. I feel like it would have been better off if they just would have just went their separate ways. You know, I wish that would have happened, but it didn't happen that way. So that both of them broke my heart by staying together when they could have just parted ways, and I wouldn't have had to experience so much, seeing so much trauma and experience so much trauma. I wouldn't have had to experience that. I wouldn't have had to see that. I wouldn't have had to know that if they would have just put me first. You know, I wish they would have thought about me. That's deep. Oh, man. Oh, I got to put this out. Oh, my goodness. But that's the truth. That's my life. That's the truth. That is how my parents broke my heart. And now I'm at the point of my life, almost 30 years old, dealing with these traumas that's been buried and buried and buried and buried deep down inside. And now I'm like digging them up. They're like 10 feet deep inside me, digging them up, trying to heal from them, because I realize that I am emotionally numb. Like literally emotionally numb when it comes to emotions. It's not only with like my spouse, but also sometimes with my children. I get emotionally detached. And I feel like all of that is stemmed from my traumas and how my parents raised me. So now I'm learning how to not be emotionally detached and learning how to love properly and accept love, because that's my hardest issue, is learning to accept love. And yeah, so that I know this is probably a lot, and I know you all sitting like, wow, she been through all of that. Yes, and I ain't even scratched the surface. That's just a little bit. I kind of sugarcoated a lot of it. I don't want to really tell everybody's business or all of that. I just wanted to tell my truth and how I wish that my parents didn't break my heart like they did, but they did, you know. And I realized that my parents just wasn't emotionally equipped to help me grow either, because they weren't whole, you know. So I accept that, and I'm just in the process of reparenting myself so I can be better parent to my children, because I do have tendencies that I need to change when it comes to them, and I'm just trying to be better so they can be healthy, happy children and become healthy, happy adults in the future, you know. So I'm gonna wrap this episode up, because I know this was deep and it was a lot, and this was the very first episode of the year, but I think y'all need to know that we're gonna get deep this year. We're gonna get real deep, because we're gonna heal this year. All right, so thank you so much for listening. And of course, you can always listen to every episode, which is available on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Cast, Breaker, Radio Public, Anchor, and I always upload an episode on YouTube, my channel, Life with Sean, every Wednesday. That's the staple date. Wednesdays at midnight. So it'll be Wednesday morning. You'll be able to get it right on time. Always. All right. Thank you all for listening. And just understand 2022, this year is going to be deep. All these topics are going to be deep. So I hope you're doing your shadow work and journaling every topic that I say. And of course, I'm working on a journal that's going to be related to Black Girl Healing Session that will have all these topics that you can do all your journaling with, and it'll be available on Amazon. I will let you all know when that is available, but no, a journal is coming. All right, thank you. Have a great day. Have a great year, and I'm excited for everything coming in 2022. Many blessings. Stay happy, stay healthy, and continue to work on yourself. All right. Bye.